Welcome back, dear viewers, and you're still on the Nile Cruise. And to continue our parts in the Nile Cruise on this special edition, we are going to talk about the Reclaiming Heritage Egypt's ongoing efforts to recover antiquities abroad. The recovery of Egyptian antiquities from abroad remains a central priority for Egypt, reflecting a broader commitment to preserving the national heritage, as we know, and correcting the historical injustice. As efforts intensifying on the legal, diplomatic, and the cultural fronts, the issue continues to draw global attention, particularly regarding the rare artifacts such as Egyptian papyri scattered across the international collections. And to discuss this more, we are most delighted to be joined by the tourism expert, Mr. Emad Hamdy. Hello and welcome to the Nile Cruise. Mr. Emad, it's a pleasure having you.
Pleasure is all mine.
Mr. Emad, can you tell me more? How would you describe where Egypt stands today in its efforts to recover antiquities from abroad?
Well, there is different things that we need to talk about. At first, that the government did a great job very recent when they just started to regain all the Egyptian artifacts in the many European museums. For example, there is a great diplomatic effort that the Ministry of the Exterior is just doing at the moment. They're just making new agreements, they sign new treatments just in order to regain all the Egyptian artifacts, especially the famous things like in France or UK or the United States. The most remarkable, for example, is the call to regain the Rosetta Stone here.
Okay, well, Mr. Ahmed, why does the issue of repatriating the artifacts remain a top national priority?
Because simply Egypt are really concerned not just about the relics of the ancestors, but we can find that these monuments, it just represents a great value for the young generation as well. Such things make them better understand what the value of the Egyptian culture and civilization, and just to make them know better and have a better understanding of these things that dates back nearly 4,000 or 5,000 years ago. For example, from my perspective, I think that we need to get more concerned about the papyri, because it's the basic source of information.
Yes.
Doesn't make any sense at the end, just we don't have any ancient medical papyrus in Egypt. It's all being displayed in many European museums. So that's like one of the things. I understand that we need to regain all the famous artifacts like the Rosetta Stone or the head of Nefertiti and stuff like this. But at the end, we need the main source of information that we're really looking for.
Well, also, Mr. Ahmed, can you tell me how Egypt has the approach to recover all the antiquities evolved in recent years?
Well, we have a plan. Let's say we have a plan. This plan can be summarized as what the Minister of the Exterior is doing now. That's looking forward to have a special arrangement to bring back all the Egyptian monuments, because their excuses based on historical and cultural issues, but at the end we have the legal right to regain all these Egyptian monuments back to Egypt. For example, we did a great arrangement and agreements with some European countries, with the United States as well, and the evidence that we have new artifacts have been recently introduced to Egypt from Belgium and Italy. So all these things that Egypt is doing now at the moment have a result, and this result represented in regaining some Egyptian artifacts back to Egypt.
And how critical is the diplomacy in securing the return of the Egyptian the artifacts in your region?
They did a great job, as we said. The arrangements that the Egyptian government doing on the field of diplomacy is really great and massive. As we just said, that the whole thing was related to a bigger plan. So this plan based on regaining every single artifact. Doesn't matter if it's big or small, old or not. So we're really concerned to regain all these artifacts back to Egypt. So we have a plan, and the government doing some arrangement and agreements with the European Federation and the government of the United States, and also some other places like Russia or Australia, just to regain every single monument being displayed in one of the museums. Because at the end, it doesn't make any sense to display all these things in foreign museums. And I don't want to go furthermore, saying that some of the European museums don't really have even a single genuine artifact like taken from their place. If we just took all the foreign stuff from the British Museum, nothing will left, for example.
As you said that we have an international collection in the international the museums outside Egypt. How do major international museums typically respond to Egypt requests?
Well, because of, for example, if we just we'll talk about the gem, for example, as an example. So the gem makes a very good propaganda for the Egyptian culture and civilization all over the world. And we very recent have a plan to bring more people after maybe after a year or more, until we display all the Egyptian artifacts inside the building.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, maybe our question was how do the major international museums typically respond to Egypt's request to return our artifacts?
Okay, so the point that I want to clarify, that as we more concerned by displaying Egyptian artifacts in the Egyptian museum now, this will encourage them to bring our stuff back to Egypt. Because such a country is paying 1.2 billion US dollar, like 55 billion Egyptian pound, to have this complex, or the biggest gem. They will encourage the Europeans and all the other people all over the world to bring back all the stuff they have, because they simply will say that Egypt now is building a bigger criteria, so we just need to get back all the stuff to Egypt, because this is the proper place that we need to keep our monuments into.
Yes, for sure. Is the global opinion shifting in favor of returning the culture heritage to its country of the region?
I will say this is partly yes, because this is like I just found personally when I work in tourism. So I've listened to many people from all over the world. They just came from the States or from wherever. They are talking now about this point. So they're saying now, why don't you bring back all these things back to Egypt? So I think what we did, like the last 3-4 years, have this impact right now. So people now really concerned to bring all the stuff from the foreign museums, like the Metropole in New York or France or UK. So all this stuff should be being displayed here, as we don't really have any concerns about the state of the preservation in your museums. So we will say yes, okay, why don't we bring this back to Egypt?
Okay, and turning back to the papyri, why are these artifacts are particularly significant in Egypt's heritage, especially this?
Because it's a source of information. Because, for example, unfortunately, none of the medical papyri being displayed now in Egypt, they were all taken. We have the London Medical Papyrus in the UK, we have the Brooklyn Papyrus in the United States, we have more in France or Netherlands. So, for example, that gives you a great knowledge about the medicine in ancient Egypt, for example, or some manuscripts and papyri that talking about the society or life and justice or the afterlife. I know we have some important papyri in Egypt, but we have more, consider like thousands of papyri being kept now in Turin Museum in Italy or in the Louvre in France. I think we need to bring back all the papyri to Egypt because it will enable us just to better understand our ancient Egyptian society and to give more glimpse about the civilization here in Egypt.
What makes tracing and reclaiming Egypt papyri especially complex?
Because it's a very fragile material, and it's very hard to chase where it was firstly displayed. And moreover, it's like being owned by many people around the world. So many of this papyri, unfortunately, is considered as private ownership. So it's not really belong to a museum for an institution. So we can easily negotiate with them.
Okay.
That's why there is a lot of legal and diplomatic challenges when we start talking about this issue.
As we know that we are living in the modern technology and the AI, as we know all, can the modern technology play a role in tracking and recovering the lost artifacts all over the world?
I will say yes and no, but that's based on the way we will look after these monuments, because at the end, most of this data that will be provided for the AI will be, sometimes it will be misused, so he can tell you something which is not true.
Yeah,
so
sure.
it totally depends on the way of chasing. The way of chasing.
Using this
yes,
modern technology.
Yes, specifically using this tool or this instrument.
Okay. How does the return of the antiquities to Egypt can make Egypt's global culture standing again, or can enhance it?
Okay, so at this point is very important because that will make people understand more their culture. So as we do respect our roots and our civilization, people will respect us.
Yeah,
so
sure.
the more respect that we show to our civilization by, I will say, the things which is happening every week in the sightseeings, for example.
Yes.
Little children at the pyramids or the sightseeings in the different occasions, that make the whole thing looks terrible, just to be honest. So we need to concern about the education and to give more information for our young generation about the civilization, how to respect your ancient roots, how you should be proud of being Egyptian. You should be doing things in a proper way, so don't mislead information to anyone. If you just hear an information about Egypt which is not really matching with proper history, you should oppose these points. You should know how to talk and discuss about such things related to your history and your civilization. So things like this.
Yes.
And that's all related to the early education. So we need to get more concerned about young generation, teaching them these principles. And moreover, when we just go to visit any of the places like the museum, we should be very quiet, very polite, and paying great respect for the tourists comes to our country. Consider them as tourists and visitors who are enjoying their time here, and because I just see a lot of silly things happening for the tourists and the sightseeing. So this is the thing that I wish it will be changing very soon.
Yes, we hope all. In your point of view and your insightful information, what impact do these efforts have on promoting the cultural tourism in general in Egypt?
We are building a new capital now.
Yes.
We're improving the underground, the biggest criteria in Egypt. All these things will help. So we are looking just to increase our volume in Egypt to more than 30 million tourists a year. But the fact that we still have some problems related to the traffic and the local transportation here is really one of the issues that the government paying a great attention to it. For example, as we just know that Egypt building bridges all over the River Nile. Every 25 kilometers, there is a bridge that you can pass from east to the West Bank. The monorail, then underground, these things will make the life of people much easier.
Yes, for sure.
And as we are building like 2 bigger airports now, that also will enable people of the lower middle class of the society in some European countries.
Yes.
They will come to Egypt, and they will encourage, because at the end we are not looking just for a specific layer of tourism comes to Egypt. We are looking for many people to come every year, and instead of having like 11 or 12 or 13 million tourists a year, we are looking forward just to increase this number and to make it 30 or even more. But that depends on building new hotels, bigger roads, places to absorb the numbers of the tourists in the sightseeing, improving the places like what we did recently in the plateau of the pyramids. So such things will help.
Okay. And in your point of view, this is an important thing, I think, that how important are international partnerships in accelerating this process?
Well, the agreements that we have with the partners is really great, and it will help like in improving many things in Egypt, especially like the administrative capital, I would say, the biggest like new settlements by the River Nile, and improving the old ports and airports. So such things will never happen except of the cooperation with the partners, especially the Europeans.
And finally, what is your outlook on Egypt's ability to recover its heritage in the coming years?
Well, we have a new digging missions every year. So that fortunately we're doing this now like independently, unlike before. So years ago we used to have Europeans and Americans here sharing this work with the Egyptians, but now we are so proud that we're doing this by our own. So as we have a new excavations, we should have new places to improve the displayment of this artifact. And for example, Egypt, I will say this was proud that we own the most professional institution for the conservation and preservation of the monuments all over the world now. So it used to be in France over years, in the Louvre of France, but now I will say that our Egyptian lab is the best all over the world. So I think Egypt has already started to recover its heritage by owning this technology and to have more places like the new lab of the GEM to be in many other places and universities all over Egypt, especially those who are concerned with studying archaeology and history based on digging, finding and analyzing stuff.
Well, Mr. Emad Hamdy, the tourism expert, thank you so much for your valuable insights, and your perspective highlights the importance of preserving Egypt's heritage and reinforces the significance of ongoing efforts. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, and a short break and we'll be right back on Nile Cruise. So stay tuned.